Thank you so much for joining me. I am very grateful. Okunayi Olumide is my name, popularly known as Coach Mide by the grace of God. Thank you so much. I have a very difficult job tonight, and because I'm asked to address the issue of infidelity, in marriage. Well, it's a bit difficult because we have found ourselves in a situation, in a climb where infidelity is just becoming a norm in a short while. In fact, it's almost a norm, or it has become a norm. A lot of families, a lot of people are affected so much by this issue of infidelity. When I say infidelity, I'm also talking about extramarital affairs, when married people are involved in extramarital affairs outside of the home. So a lot of issues, a lot of stuffs, and then that's why I'm going to do more of an introductory talk right now through this video, and then I will explain some of the actions that might be taken. Now let me start from this point. A doctor friend of mine, while talking with someone some times ago, and then the lady said, my husband is involved in infidelity. He literally opened up and said there might not be anything to do about it. You might just need to keep on praying. A lot of men are out there because a lot of time it affects us who are men. A lot of time, a lot of men out there find themselves unknowingly, unwillingly involved in infidelity. A lot of men, I'm telling you, never plan to find themselves in such situations. So what I want to do at this point is simply to lay everything bare before you and then ask you, while I'm not going to over spiritualize issues, I'm going to just ask this main question: is it worth it? So let's start this way. I'm talking with probably Mr. James, who got married about 5 years ago, and then is working in a place where he suddenly found himself in close proximity to a particular lady. And then before you know it, they started sharing things together, started talking, started spending more time than normal together. In a short while, the husband probably began to delete messages, pick calls outside of the home, and then probably started developing all these coded bits of lies and all. Now, let me ask, and then probably along the line, this might lead into full-blown sex with this person they are working together with, and then, yes, the excitement is there. For a man like that, at some point, it's almost like the blood begins to be hot afresh, and then it feels like needed, it feels like, wow, this is just life, and then the excitement of just having sex, and then making yourself some guilt at the beginning, and then after some time, no more guilt, and then everything just continues like that. Now, that may be what looks like the gain out of all this, but can I tell you also some of the other part? Number one, you might not be the only person such a lady is having such an affair with. So there is every tendency of contacting sexually transmitted disease. Now, you're going to put yourself in danger. You're going to put your wife in danger. You're going to put your family in danger. Imagine that the lady had HIV/AIDS, and then before you know it, from such a lady X, you go home, and then you met with your wife again, unprotected sex, and then you infect her with HIV. And then for somebody who did not even know, before you know it, bam, full blown, and then lots of issues. You might lose your wife, you might lose your life, you might lose your kids, you might lose your children. That is one. Another thing that might likely arise out of involving in extramarital affair also involves the issue of, before you know it, your mind is twisted into two, turned into two, broken into two, literally. Before you know it, you are working on maintaining this one, which is the legitimate wife. You are working on maintaining this one, who is the side chick, and then it becomes a confusing thing. I can categorically tell you that such a man, if fully involved in ministry, may find yourself divided, distracted, and before you know it, not even pursuing vision, not pursuing purpose. And then all the gains you could have gotten suddenly just disappear like that, all because of getting involved with someone outside of marriage. I can assure you that emotional attachment becomes a lot of issue because you're attached to this one, you're attached to this one, and then it becomes a very serious issue. What if I tell you that before you know it, a lot of the memories you have shared with your wife becomes like something in the past? Because you just may find yourself not interested in spending time with her again. So your wife becomes a shadow of herself, and then she has a lot of issues, and then you are just not there, and before you know it, lots of other things, health issues also set in. And then the question I'm asking, is it really worth it? Now let me tell you, for an average woman, not the average side chick, they may just not want a taste of what you have to offer, because eventually they want to get everything. And that's why an average side chick will do everything, including jazz, if it is possible. So you are exposing yourself to jazz, you are exposing your family to jazz, and you are exposing yourself to a lot of issues, a lot of stress. We've had a lot of men who have gone through this kind of a thing, and the testimonies are bad. The pains are deep. The emotional issues are serious. It takes a lot of time and intervention of God to be able to sort it out. How will you explain, somebody you respect so much spiritually, fathering a child outside of marriage? Can you imagine the embarrassment? Can you imagine all the people you have influence on suddenly finding you involved in such a big mess? And then before you know it, it becomes a loud thing everybody knows about, and then you find yourself in a very tight corner, and then nobody want to listen to you, because the question is, where is your testimony? All because of getting involved emotionally with someone outside of marriage. How will you do it? You begin to fund this one, and then there are children from the side chick. You are funding their lives. You are funding the lives of the legitimate child, and it becomes a lot of issues. A lot of families, at the burial of the man, that's when they realize that there is someone outside, and then that one also has children. Imagine the embarrassment to the memory of such a man. I have seen a lot of women going through pain, and then the man begins to go defensive. And for some men who are like babies, they beat up their wife any little provocation, because there is someone somewhere who is controlling them and simply telling them what to do. Before you know it, divorce. And then before you know it, the man ends up living a lonely life eventually. Now, why this may, there are women who also get involved in this. A larger percentage of what we have seen over time are men who get involved with this. Now, the big question I just want to leave you with is this: is it really worth the trouble? Is it? Not that all of us are not faced with these temptations here and there, but the big question is it worth it? Can you think beyond those fleeting experiences of excitement and feeling young again and all? Can you look at all the other issues you are likely going to have, the embarrassment, which some of the things I have listed, and then can you ask yourself this question: is it worth it? That side chick will not be there for you in the old age. I'm telling you, they're going to find themselves, sort themselves out, and you're going to be a lonely old man in your old age if you do not put a stop to this. So I'm going to ask you, sir, is it worth it? Now, I'm sure the answer is no, it is not. So please, if you're out there, you can start tonight, go back home, cut off ties with that lady, and face your wife. You can make your wife the picture. Whatever picture you have seen outside that is so exciting, you can transform your wife into it. In my subsequent video or talk, I'm going to tell you some of the steps that can be taken to be able to overcome this. I want to thank you for joining me. Please click on this YouTube channel, click subscribe and share, and then let's see how we can work together to help ourselves to get rid of some of these temptations staring us in the face. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. Have a great day.